I remember a time in my life where this word really hit home. And I was going through a transition in my life where I was attending community college and I was going to go to the university. And I had to let go of my job in order to be a full-time student. It was a very scary feeling because I didn't know how I was going to pay for things or pay for school if I had to leave my job. And I remember that God spoke to me in that season of my life and just quieted the worries that I had. I remember that I went outside to the play yard and uh, all of a sudden I saw a butterfly, and it had landed on a leaf on a tree, and it was too high up for me to actually grab it. But the amazing thing about it was it stayed still enough for me to go inside, grab a net, and stay there, and it allowed me to grab it and put it into a bug catcher. I mean, time passed, and if you have ever tried to catch a butterfly, it's almost impossible. And I think that God used that moment to speak to me. I remember the butterfly was so huge. I could see the hairs on the butterfly. And when I looked at the butterfly and the bug catcher, God said to me, "Doris, like this butterfly, you were meant to be free." And I just said to myself, this butterfly is too beautiful for it to stay in this bug catcher. I have to let it go. And I know God used that moment in time to let me know that it was okay to let go. Looking back at that encounter I had with God, I realized He was preparing me to be free. At that moment in my life, there were things that I was holding on to, and God was asking me to let go, and in essence, He was asking me to trust Him. I felt like it was too impossible for me to come out of that situation. I saw myself and thought that I was in a big hole too deep that I couldn't get out. But when God saw me, He saw me free. And so, like that butterfly, that it was free and it was ready to fly and go places that it had never been. That's what God was saying to me. He was giving me hope, and He was just saying, trust me. If you let go of this, there will be greater things up ahead. There is so much that God wants to speak to your life, my life, and it all starts with that willingness to learn, that willingness to listen to His voice. And so I encourage you to watch the next video. I'm going to be talking about, the new thing that God wants to do in your life. And just like this spring season, that God has something new, and that it doesn't matter what you're going through in this moment, that God wants to do great things in your life if you just believe.